Throughout the production process of the 3 tasks, I have been referring to feedback I received from my tutors, peers, and target audience before and after making changes. My target audience influenced my initial idea when I conducted a survey. I was looking for confirmation that my main idea was correct for my chosen audience, and I wanted a wide range of feedback, so I decided that a survey would be the best option to get a lot of feedback quickly. I handed my survey out to 20 people who span the entire age range of my target audience, so I know I'd covered all bases. Their feedback helped me make some big decisions about the plot of my film, including if Lucy should die. They answered yes. The setting, where they suggested a bedroom or an outside open space, which led to my decision to set Lucy's moment of clarity where she decides again not to crawl on top of a hill in an open, big outside space. When I was scripting and storyboarding, I had this initial feedback in my mind, so I knew that I was adhering to what my target audience wanted. Furthermore, at this early stage, I conducted 4 audience interviews so that I could discuss my ideas with people and get their opinions in more detail than a survey. These interviews led me to repeat the rewind at the end, adding facts at the start of my film to set the tone of the piece immediately, and varying my camera technique from handheld to stable in order to suggest a change in mood. After I finished the first edit of my animatic, I conducted some more peer and tutor feedback in the form of them filling out a feedback table, having viewed my film alone. This is useful as you often get honest, constructive feedback if your peers do not have to talk directly to you and can take their time to explain their ideas. The table included technical elements such as sound, shot variation, genre and target audience appropriateness, and the overall concept of the film. This allowed me to be more confident about certain aspects of my film following their positive feedback, such as shot variation, but then focus on the music and sound, which, as per their suggestion, specifically, I added more echoes of conversation Lucy had following this feedback. I implemented these changes into my second edit of my animatic. The next feedback was on a much smaller scale, as I conducted an interview over the phone with a sufferer of anorexia as she watched the second edit. I found this feedback incredibly useful because I wanted to make sure that the representation of a sufferer of anorexia was correct and accurate. Most of this feedback was positive, which gave me confidence that I had a good idea of the symptoms of anorexia, so I didn't have to make too many changes before filming. Her only suggestion was that I should add even more echoes of the voices Lucy hears at the start, a change I finally implemented in the final edit of my film. After the completion of the first edit of my film, I again sought out peer and tutor feedback in the same fashion as before. This feedback was incredibly useful because I often find that once I have watched my film over and over again so many times, I start to miss mistakes and I can no longer tell what to change because I have become used to the way it is. Their suggestions put me on the right track and showed me what to improve. Some specific changes I made following this feedback was to cut down the rewind sections and lengthen the fact sections as I didn't have time to read them. At this stage, I also conducted a focus group with 3 members of my target audience and 2 interviews. Our discussions revealed much the same as the peer feedback, as I hadn't made any changes between these 2 sets of feedback. However, their suggestions led me to lengthen the text method shot, as they said they didn't have enough time to read it. They also told me I needed to focus on sound, as the sound effects I had used for things like the car speeding away sounded really fake, so as per their suggestion I used the audio from the original clip. I also made changes such as shortening the rewind sections without hesitation, as their opinion was unanimous. However, I had to make executive decisions with other opinion-based changes, as there was some disagreement. For example, some people said I should keep the rewind section at the end. Others said I shouldn't, and it was a fairly even split between opinion, so I decided to keep it, knowing that my audience feedback had shown that overall I wouldn't be able to please everybody either way. To make sure that my poster ideas were in keeping with what my audience wanted, at the initial design stage of the poster I conducted a survey with my target audience where I asked a lot of people which design was their favourite. The results of this vote were quite unexpected, as there seemed to be an even split of opinion for 2 of the designs and only 1 was ruled out. Given this result, I went back to people to ask what they did and didn't like about each design and was able to make improvements based on this. For example, they liked the simplicity of poster 1 and thought the idea of a split screen really worked and helped to convey the main themes of my film. Although I was then forced to start a new idea as my original ideas were not working, it was very helpful to already know their likes and dislikes of a poster, so when I went back to show people what I had made, they were still very happy with the poster.